Okay guys, so training's been pretty good this week, nice and consistent, just getting some easy miles in again. Nothing too intense or too hard. Obviously coming off most R100, 105 kilometers of ultra racing in the mountains, and then with only a few weeks until my next mountain races. Buff Epic Trail is actually next weekend now, so I'm getting pretty excited for that. So that's 42 kilometers and nearly 3,500 meters of climbing. So obviously between that period, I don't really have a lot of time to do any specific training. So I'm going to talk about that in a moment. But first, a lot of you guys have been asking me what shoes I wear and what I train in. So I am sponsored by Hoka One. So this is maybe a slight bias with you, but obviously I wouldn't be running in a shoe unless it was a shoe that I felt comfortable in and I really enjoyed from a performance perspective. So these are the three main models that I usually use now in a lot of my training, especially when I'm training for these mountains and these trail races and these ultras. I like to make sure that I've always got these three models to hand. So starting off, I do a fair bit of road miles, or maybe trails that are more gravelly and don't need anything too technical or tread wise. I usually do a lot of those in my Cliftons, and this is the Clifton 3. I actually had a pair of the original Cliftons when they came out a few years ago, and it was definitely one of my favourite shoes I'd ever worn at that point. For a long time I was definitely put off by Hoka's because of all the cushioning. I thought it was maybe something that I wouldn't enjoy, but as soon as you put these shoes on, it's definitely a shoe that can really kind of transform your running in the sense that you just really enjoy that extra cushioning. I know for myself that I really enjoy that, and it makes a big difference when I'm logging these long mileage and heavy mileage weeks. Putting a pair of Cliftons on always feels good, and for the size of them, really light shoe, really fantastic for those tempo runs, those longer kind of steady state efforts. Also really good with the interval sessions. I always get really surprised when I'm running in these shoes, especially when you glance at them. When I first put them on my feet, those years ago and had the original Cliftons, I just couldn't believe how fast they are for the amount of cushioning that you've got there. Really good shoe. So going on to trail shoes, I'm going to start with the Challenger ATR. So these are the ATR 3s. I haven't had these ones too long. I've only ran about 100 kilometers in them, but again, it's very similar shoe to the Clifton, as you can see. Still got plenty of cushioning in the bottom there, but a very responsive shoe. Very plush with the cushioning, so very soft, but again, just really responsive and just super lightweight. Not too extreme with the tread. It is fantastic, and it would probably certainly do most trail races. You've got a great kind of tread pattern on the front and the back of the shoe. Obviously the main contact points when you're going down a really steep hill, you're going to be putting a lot down the heel. So you've got some great tread there, and obviously for the most part you're doing a lot on your forefoot, depending on your running stride of course. But tread in all the right places, a really good upper, really nice fit with some great support across the midfoot. So I really enjoy this shoe. So fantastic shoe, again really fast. So that's the thing I always love about Hoka's, really light, really fast shoes. Even though they don't necessarily look like it, if you've never put a Hoka on your foot before, never picked one up, you will really enjoy the sensation if it suits you as a runner. And the kind of bad boy of them all, the Hoka One Speedgoat. So this is the original Speedgoat version 1s. This is my second pair that I've had, but I really enjoy these shoes. Really fantastic for the long ultras, the really technical, slippy, muddy, rocky ultras. They've got the Vibram Mega Grip on the sole. As you can see, it's just really awesome. You've got lots of tread there, and it works really well on any surface you throw at it. The shoe itself is a bit stiffer than the other shoes, so obviously that gives you a lot more rigidity on the trails, especially if you're going on the rocky stuff. You want to make sure you've got some stability in your ankles, so it works really well with that. If you're going for these big kind of mountain races, really rocky, really muddy, or you're not really sure what it's going to throw at you in terms of an ultra or a trail race, I would recommend the Speedgoat. It's a bit heavier than the Challenger, but that is really minimal, still a really light shoe, and again you can just be confident that it's going to handle anything you throw at it really well, and it's going to be a great trusty shoe for those kind of situations. It's definitely my go-to shoe for ultras these days. With ultras you've got a bit of road, a bit of trail, a bit of dirt, a bit of whatever across that span of time that you're racing. You just know with the Speedgoats on your feet, you haven't really got to worry about what conditions are thrown at you, because it's going to work really well. Yeah, so these are the kind of three main shoes that I run in, guys. I do run in a few other models from time to time, but these you'll see in my Strava, which we're going to go to after this. It's always one of these shoes for the most part. Yeah, so any questions, guys, drop them down below. I think I've covered the main basics. I'll leave some links down below as well, so you guys can check them out on the web. But yeah, let's get to the Strava and see how the training's been this week. It's been a good solid week, getting back into the flow of training again. As I mentioned, nothing too intense, just really trying to find my legs again ahead of next week's race at the Buff Epic Trail. So yeah, so you can see on that Sunday I had that 20k run. That was good to get the legs flowing nicely, but then onto the Monday, didn't actually end up doing too much. Went out for a little kind of easy run walk just along the kind of river path there. But then Tuesday, got back into the flow of things really nicely. So nice kind of steady run. Legs felt great, felt back in the flow. And yeah, I was really happy. This was a great run with some intention to push the pace on some climbs, get the kind of cobwebs blown out and get a bit of elevation there. So you can see 465 meters, so a bit of hills, nothing too intense though. The pace started off kind of slow, but I managed to pick it up, get some nice pace flow in the legs again. So a bit of kind of progressive pickups, good kind of blowout to get the body back into shape, back into the flow training, and really just kind of thinking ahead for all the races I have on the way. So it's been nice to get back into that flow really of just having some good consistent flat miles. So as you can see on the first day I got back into Cardiff and I've just been hitting some nice consistent kind of 20k morning runs, nothing too intense, but I have been hitting some good paces as well. So like I said, just finding my feet again and back on these kind of rolling trails with these kind of short hills. It's really quite nice, fun, tough kind of running, a lot different to what I've been doing recently. With just the long sustained climbs, you get into a good rhythm, a good effort level, a good pace, but it's been really nice just to kind of focus on that kind of leg turnover and you know, just a moderate steady pace ahead of what I've got to come, because obviously this close out now from another marathon, another trail race, you know, you don't want to be doing too much with your training, don't want to be pushing things too hard. Still, you know, just trying to get that flow back into the training and allow myself to move on from the marathon I've got coming up, the trail marathon, and kind of jump back into some solid training there. So really, again, even though this has been a good consistent week and, you know, topping the week with 112 kilometers, it's really just been about finding my legs again, finding that flow in training and preparing myself for what's ahead. So just getting these 20k days back, nothing too dramatic, but a nice kind of reasonable week, kind of full training back again, 112 kilometers, leading on to next week when next Saturday I'll be running the Buff Epic Trail, so 42k there. So it's been a good week. So today's run on Sunday, again back around Cardiff, felt really good. Felt like I found my legs again. Had some nice pace, some great progression. Again, just finding the pace is coming in easy, just settling into the stride, and it's a really great kind of really great motivator when you have that in training, when suddenly the pace is coming easy and you know that you're feeling ready for a race. And right now I'm feeling really ready for Buff Epic. It's going to be a tricky race, it's going to be technical, I know that for sure. It's 42k, so it is a marathon, but it is 3,500 meters of climbing, so of course that's going to be a good test and something that I haven't been doing a lot of recently. But obviously treating Mozart 100 as the ultimate training lead up is a great one as well. You know, 105 kilometers with some good climbing is obviously a great training run in itself. So now I'm feeling good and well recovered from that and feeling ready to progress forwards. I'm looking forward to the race. So that's what I've been up to, guys. You can see it's been a good consistent week, just getting back into the flow of things. Okay, so that's what I've been up to this week, guys. As I said, just getting the flow back, feeling really good and ready for all the training ahead. No kind of little niggles or injuries, everything's feeling good, legs feeling great. So yeah, really excited for Buff Epic Trail next week. 42k, it's 3,500 meters of climbing, so it's going to be tough, it's going to be technical in the Pyrenees in Spain. So I'm really excited. It's an area I've never been to before, but definitely an area I've always wanted to get to. It's going to be a really competitive race, so I'm not quite sure what to have in terms of expectations. Obviously a top 10 is always a great goal to go for, so at least I think with it being on the World Skyrunning Series as well, it's going to be some great athletes there. I'm really looking forward to running with that caliber of athlete, get myself pushed on and really kind of finding that next level for myself again. So it might be a bit of a shock to the system after the kind of recent ultras that I've been doing. The altitude might be an issue in Spain. I know that we get up to around 2,700 meters and I've really been at sea level for the past 3 weeks or so. So we'll see how that goes. When I'm in Chiang Mai, I'm not at altitude, but for a good part of the year down I'm in Asia, where I've got the heat and the humidity, which I feel like if you train hard in, you get some fantastic training benefits in. Obviously your body's put under that stress of the heat to cope with that. So we'll see how the race goes. I'm looking forward to it. Top 20 would be awesome, the top 10 would be perfect. So I'm going to be competitive as always, going to give it my all and just see what the lungs and the legs can do on the day. But I hope you're enjoying these CCC videos, guys. Let me know what shoes you're running in at the moment. But thanks for watching these videos, guys. It means a lot and all the support is fantastic. Make sure you like this video, make sure you leave a comment down below. If you're not subscribed to this channel, subscribe. Next week I'm heading to Spain. Going to be some good travel vlogs on the way, so if you want to see a little adventure and what I'm up to, guys, make sure you subscribe and don't miss any videos. Hope your running's going really well and you've got some great races ahead. But happy running. Take care.